Rhythm is one of these musical elements that can really add so much color to your chord progression. Of course, you need beautiful chords, we know that, and you need to master these beautiful chords. However, there is a big difference between playing just beautiful chords and beautiful chords with rhythm. Let me give you an example. What I played at the beginning of the video, it's a nice and lovely chord progression. It's beautiful and simple. I'm literally just using one finger, right? But how does it sound if I add a nice and lovely rhythmic pattern? It's a whole new world, and so we're going to explore these rhythmic patterns. Now, first things first, guys, let's learn the chord progression. It's very simple. We have 4 chords. The first one is a lovely A sus2. I'm playing the note A, B, and E. Just one finger. The second chord is the same chord, so the A sus2 with the C sharp on the bass. So we're playing the major third of this chord on the bass, and we're going to play the C sharp on the A string fret number 4. Beautiful and lovely chord. The third chord is kind of a lovely dreamy chord, which could be a D6 with the major 9 as well. I mean, I'm playing the note D, the note A, which is the 5th, the note B, which is the major 6th, and the note E, which is the major 9. So we don't have the third in this chord, and that's the reason why it sounds so dreamy. It's a lovely sounding chord. And then the last one, we're gonna have the E sus4 and the E major. So we have the note E, A, B, and E with the E sus4, and then we can slide the index finger to the fret number 1 and play the E major. Now, once you learn the basic chords, you can then add more rhythm with a slightly different finger picking pattern, but also more notes to the chords. Now, we're going to take it step by step, guys, and there are a lot of small variations that we can do, and I'm going to explain all the variations step by step. Of course, you can get the tab on the Patreon page, but don't worry, because I'm going to go slowly. I'm going to show you all the different rhythmic and melodic variations. We're going to play the first 2 chords like this. So, of course, I'm playing with the index, middle, and ring always on the G, the B, and the E string. And the thumb is going to play the bass note depending on where we play the bass of the chord. The first arpeggio is a lovely Pima, so thumb, index, middle, and ring. Then we have middle and index again. Then we're going to change chord. And rather than just play the full pattern, we're just going to play with the thumb, the index, and the middle, and we let it ring out. You can shake your guitar a little bit to add a little bit of vibrato. Now for the D and the E major chord, we're gonna play a slightly different arpeggio. We're gonna have so I still have thumb, index, middle, and ring, but then I'm gonna play with the index and the middle. Then I play the bass note for the E major chord, so the low E string, and I play the G sharp on the G string for number 1. So when I put this section together, now we're going to play the same chord progression, so we can easily make it a little bit more interesting and slightly different by changing just one note. It sounds like this. Such a beautiful and lovely chord, right? So the first arpeggio is the same. Now when I play the A sus2 over C sharp, I'm going to play the bass note, then the G string, and then the B and the E string simultaneously with middle and ring, but I'm gonna add the top E string fret number 4, this lovely G sharp, which is the major 7. So, and you wanna pluck the strings lightly, you don't want it to be too loud. Now for the D and the E, we're gonna change the arpeggio again, just to make it slightly different. It sounds like this. So I'm always going to start with the Pima, so it's thumb, index, middle, ring, and then index now, and then ring on the E string. So we're changing the rhythm and the voicing slightly. Then I have the E major with the bass, G sharp on fret number 1 and 2. Now we're gonna play the same chord progression one more time, and of course, we don't want to play the same thing, right? So I'm going to show you how we can add a few small variations to make it even more melodic. So the first 2 chords. So thumb, index, middle and ring like we did before. But then we have index and middle. So we're kind of playing the second section of this chord just the other way around. And then for the C sharp on the bass, we just play with the thumb, index, and middle, and we let it ring out. So we literally changed just the finger picking pattern. Now for the D and the E, we're gonna add way more notes, and it sounds lovely. So we are moving the E major just a little bit closer to the end of the bar. So we're playing the chord like this. Now we have open, 2, open, and 2. So we add the major third of the chord, the F sharp. And we are arpeggiating the chord with the Pima. So it's thumb, index, middle, and ring. And then we have the melody on the fret number 4 and 5. And the E string open. So we let it ring out, and then we play the bass, and then the G sharp, and the A. So we're kind of pushing the E at the end of the bar. Now we'll go back to the same 2 chords, A sus2, and then the A sus2 with the C sharp on the bass. And we will propose the same chord shapes. So it's thumb, index, and then middle and ring together. And then the last 2 chords. So I'm gonna play the same D6 chord with open 2, open 2. So it's thumb, index, middle, and ring. Then the index and the E string open. And then I have the E major chord with the bass, the fret number 1, 2. And then this phrase played on the B string, fret number 3, slide to fret 5, and the fret 5 again. Guys, let's take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Skillshare, the online learning community with thousands of awesome classes. As you probably know, guys, I have been using Skillshare for a very long time, and I learned so many things, and I still do, because it's just the most awesome thing to have so many different classes in just one place. In fact, guys, on Skillshare, I was actually able to learn how to edit my videos, how to light my videos properly, and how to improve the overall quality of my lessons. But of course, it's not just that. You can learn almost anything. There are classes ranging from music, art, self-development, business, illustration, design, editing, I mean, you name it. There is a class for almost anything. Now, the cool thing is that you can access all these classes for free for a limited period of time. The first 1,000 people who click the link down below can access all these classes for free. So you can get a premium Skillshare membership for free for a limited period of time. And then if you like it, you can sign up for less than $10 a month. So thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Now let's go back to this lovely chord progression. Now the second section is really interesting because we are kind of moving towards a much more melodic approach. In fact, we have a lovely melody. The chord progression is still quite similar, but we are moving way more melodically. It sounds like this. So we're going to start with the melody played with the slide. And then we have the first chord, which is the A. We're just going to play the bass note. And then the note E on the fret number 5 again. And then the melody on the E string, fret number 4 and 5. And open. And then we move on to the next chord with the C sharp on the bass. We're just going to do thumb, index, and middle. And then we have the D chord. Beautiful melodic chord. Now we're going to play 3 strings, the D, the G, and the E string, with the G string fret number 2. And then I have a hammer on the fret number 2 on the E string. Back to the E string open, the G string, and the B string. Now we're going to change the chord progression just for this section, and we have such a beautiful and lovely chord progression. So it's the A sus4. We're playing 2 notes, the A and the D on the G and the B string, then the A, and then the C sharp on the fret number 2, and the B string open. Now we're going to play the E major with the G sharp on the bass. So we have the low E string fret number 4 and the G string fret number 2 and the E string open. So and we're going to open up again with the A major chord, just with the bass. Let it ring out, and then this phrase. So I have the fret number 4, 5, and then the fret number 7 with the pinky, which we're gonna play, and then slide to the fret number 9. Such a beautiful and romantic phrase. Then the D on the bass, the B string fret number 7, and the E string open. Such a lovely thing. We finish with the E major chord with this phrase. So I have the low E string and the E string fret number 7, 9, the B string fret number 7, 5 on the E string, and then a slide from 5 to 7 on the G and the E string, and then the E string open. So make sure that the slide is quick. Now the last section is really interesting as we are playing, between these 2 chords, and we can create this lovely and suspended, atmosphere. It sounds like this. hope you enjoyed this lesson, guys. Take it step by step, enjoy these beautiful chords, and I'll see you soon.